Is August 8th, 2025. This is HOA Today. HOA Today is brought to you by Zayuk. Zayuk is a company that provides software and inspection services to properties. Our system, Zayuk Safe, specialized in HOAs and condos, is a platform for you to bring vendors in and out of your property using various features that HOAs need, such as a meetings platform, such as a collection system, such as a living reserve system, a voting platform, a work order system, and various other features. And then additionally, homeowner associations properties need inspection services, and specifically homeowner associations need reserve studies inspection. So our platform Zayuk provides a reality capture inspection that is a reserve study inspection, and with that we're able to take survey grade level reality captures of your property and give you a platform to have visualizations, have survey grade level models of your property so that you and your vendors and your managers and any stakeholders that may come and work in your property are able to have the context they need. So you can bring in vendors that you can have vendors have a context of what work would need to get done through our RFP system, through our smart contracting system, and so on. So HOA Today, we go through current events in homeowners associations. And so we will start with an article by Alaire Conte in News and Insights on Realtor.com. She's speaking about the new law in California, Assembly Bill 130, which caps HOA's fines per violation at $100. It's a new protection for homeowners, bans late fees and interest, and expands dispute violation rights. This is a major shift in balance of power between homeowners and HOA boards. It's important that people understand the rules that they sign up for, and often many people don't when they purchase into a homeowners association, and the lack of awareness and respect for the governance rules that people sign up for is very important. California has the most HOAs in the country of any state. And condo communities are very accessible ways of home ownership. And I've said that multiple times where, yes, they're a burden, especially if they're run poorly. If they're run poorly, you also want to keep in mind you're investing in a business, literally a business. Many HOAs are registered as nonprofit organizations. So when you purchase a unit in that organization, you are purchasing somewhat of a share in a business. And it's important that the business is run appropriately. Owners don't necessarily manage their business, and that's why condo associations are a great way to pool resources to live and own in a area with other people. But if it's being run poorly, if the vendors aren't doing work that they should, if maintenance isn't being kept up, it's very difficult. And it becomes a burden financially. And you see that in, unfortunately, Florida, where a whole whirlwind of issues came to play and is really affecting owners in Florida, condo owners, in a negative way. And if you're purchasing into a homeowner association, understand the rules, understand the financial hygiene, understand the asset hygiene as well. So if you need insight into how the finances of an HOA are running, you can ask an accountant. You want to make sure that the organization you're purchasing into is running effectively. And I'm going to bring someone on the podcast or on this live stream to speak about that because it's so important. The escrow process into HOAs and understanding what you're purchasing into and the status of this organization, especially if you are in a condo or townhome association versus, say, a single family home association. So I'll continue. This is from NBC Palm Springs. They are speaking about the AB 130 law that took effect on July 1. The article is warning could create more drawn out enforcement processes. And other residents think $100 may be too lenient. It could be too lenient, and it can be seen as something, I now only if I want to, it's now a sort of fee that I pay to get a sort of living feature that I want that is against HOA rules. We'll see how that moves on. Okay, so this is also from Alaire Conte, speaking about HOA spent $140,000 on a pickle court, then hauled it to the dump. So this speaks about, quote, in Aurora, that's exactly what happened. The HOA board hired a vendor without proper documentation, then spent $140,000 on a pickleball court that couldn't be played on, unquote. It's important to get multiple vendor requests and compare and contrast those vendors and their proposals and make sure that their statement of work matches up or actually matches what you want to do. Quote, and then they left no paper trail. So this is a huge aspect. If you want to keep a paper trail, and Zayuk's smart contract system gives you the tools to maintain that paper trail, whether that be your actual request for proposal, the proposals across the RFP, the contract itself, or the work orders that go against the contract, or the invoices that go against the contract. That all needs to be organized appropriately, which Zayuk does through our smart contract system. And we also provide a platform for vendors to come in and handle the work that's being done on that property. Again, going into our inspection service with a survey grade level 3D model, it gives your vendors more of an idea of what to do, what to consider. It gives them a better ability to bid on the contract when they have a measuring aspect there, since it's survey grade level to 3 to 5 centimeters. It's a very powerful system, and properties need it. And you can see this pickleball owner would have had a traceable, a digital thread of this whole process, a digital thread of the work. You need to have vendor verification on these things. So people, you have, you know, it's difficult. Again, you're purchasing into a business, and many homeowner association boards aren't professionals in construction, real estate, business, and it all comes together in this organization that you just were looking for a place to live and a safe investment for yourself and simultaneously, but it is a business. And if you're one of the many who hold a large portion of your wealth in these types of businesses, Zayuk Safe is one of the best forms of insurance against the degradation of that business over years. It really is. So consider reaching out to us or trying the app out. So this is from the editorial board in Minnesota speaking about HOA reform over building maintenance and improvement projects. Minnesota has a very difficult weather environment, lots of snow, lots of wind, cold, very cold area. %27 of Minnesotans live in CIC development, and for them, common interest communities. 82% of new homes were in 2023 were part of a CIC. I think that's one of the biggest aspects of all this, is that it's becoming so common to do this within the United States. It's a majority, whether you're in a single family home or a condo, and more people are moving to urban areas now that the work from home exodus has somewhat subsided. Yet more developments are being built with associations. And as the infrastructure of the United States in particular degrades, becomes older, the maintenance on these items becomes huge, because the most green friendly building is the one that exists there. And so maintaining that building for a long time, and as we have these smart city systems, these smart city protocols, Zayuk is really well placed to integrate with that, to build one of the top pillars of that smart city environment, where people in the city and the various assets of the city understand the context well enough to handle the situation and document the situation over time. And this is particularly important with construction maintenance items. Okay, so let's go. At the core of most disputes is miscommunication, lack of adequate notification, barriers for participation by homeowners on governing boards, and clarity about who has the authority to make final decisions about cost and scope of work, unquote. Again, communication. It's very difficult, but if you don't communicate, it's a huge issue. And communicating is of the utmost importance. There's a working group for common interest communities that with 40 recommendations for legislative reforms in Minnesota. As we spoke about before, there was an HOA that had roofing repairs done and assessed some of their homeowners at $17,000. And now those homeowners went and sued the association and the board, and I believe the vendor, and the vendor seemed to be a subsidiary of the management company, and I believe there wasn't proof shared. And again, Zayuk, we fly our drone over the property. You can have your own drone inspector come. If you're a manager, we can do multiple properties. We do survey grade level inspections of your property. So, and give you a platform. I think the most important thing is give you a platform to manage that 3D model across your reserves, which is very important. So we'll continue. So this is by Bradenton Herald, Josh Salmon, and Aaron Mama. HOA or Big Brother. Suncoast neighbors use controversial technology to find speeders. Sarasota County. Automated license plate reading and speed capture cameras. Penalizing residents and anyone who drives in the neighborhood. Flock and traffic logics raise questions about privacy. There is no privacy. If you join me for my cyber live streams, you'll know I often speak about how there's a lack of privacy. It's very true. You should expect that most of what you say and do it's all very susceptible to being leaked online, but more or less you should assume it's all able to be seen or viewed by anyone at any time. Because the level of networking and the level of information transfer, the cost of information transfer is lower than ever. The cost of networking and the ability to network through media, social media, or whatever is lower than ever. So even in HOA, as we see here, you can see these technologies are integrating to really do anything. HOAs are installing cameras to catch infractions on tape, shifting what was long considered police functions into hands of private citizens. And I believe this is being done all over the world. And this is occurring in multiple HOAs in Sarasota. Comes down to liability and safety. A growth industry of surveillance. All right, we'll continue. We spoke about this, I think, a couple days ago. Arizona SB 1182 passed in May by Governor Katie Hobbs allowed workers in the summer and late spring, early autumn months to begin work at 4 a.m. And the question was whether this must be abided by HOAs. Arizona and the Phoenix area is extremely hot, and it's dangerous for workers to be working outdoors in the middle of the day. So that is the reason. And very likely that comes down to the individuals. Okay, the individual property and the homeowners there and how their sentiments about the situation. So thank you, everyone. Hopefully, everyone has a great weekend ahead of them. This live stream was brought to you by Zayuk Smart Property Software and Live Stream. I'm sorry, Smart Property Software and Inspection. This is a live stream. We come out, give you a survey grade level inspection of your property. We provide you a software platform to actually distribute that information across yourselves, your homeowners, your managers, your vendors, and handle the contract management in one platform so you have that information, you can maintain that information. It is coming to the point where people are going to have to maintain their own contracts across. The interesting thing is that this is going to be something that happens across many industries, and Zayuk has specifically brought this platform and this protocol to HOAs and properties because we're getting to a point where in order to optimize everything, we're all going to have a little bit more control of our data. And so Zayuk really, and it looks like it's becoming more and more legal as we move on. So Zayuk's really